Okay, so for this first one, the negative out front reflects it over the x-axis. This +2 is up 2, so that's where the asymptote goes. And you can go ahead and fill that in, y equals 2, vertical asymptote's none, domain is all reals. All right, plugging in values. I started with 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Make it negative, so -1 plus 2 would give you 1. And then I plugged in negatives because that's going to flip the fraction. So if you plug in -1, this will reciprocate. You would get 2, make it negative. So -2 plus 2 is 0. Same thing here. You would get 2 squared, which is 4. Make it negative. You end up with -2. I dotted those in. Are we all good to there? All right. If you pick a number to plug in and it doesn't turn out pleasant, just pick something else. All right. Range would be -infinity up to 2. Everything is parentheses in this unit. Nothing will be brackets. So just only do parentheses. All right. What's your x-intercept? Yeah, -1, 0. It's nice when it turns out to a nice whole number. Y-intercept 0, 1. Are we increasing or decreasing? Good. Increasing is all reals. Decreasing, it doesn't do that. And then end behavior. Limit as x goes to -infinity of the function. That arrow points down, so -infinity. And then limit as x goes to +infinity of the function. Where does that arrow go? To 2. It won't ever actually touch 2, it's just where it's headed. For this next one, we're only going to be able to get 1 point because it's E. Okay. How did this graph get shifted? I'm looking for words like up, down, left, right. But good. Left 2, up 4. So that means that the horizontal asymptote got moved up 4. So go up 4, dot that in, and then you can fill that in on your list. And then domain is all reals. Again, fill in the automatic stuff. You want to do that like as soon as you start. So let's try to get our 1 point. What is the only number you're going to be able to plug in? There's only one that's going to work without a calculator. -2, good. If you plug in -2, that will give you 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1 plus 4 is 5. So -2, 5. And then I get that this is the part where everyone is like, and now what? Okay, but the graph either goes up or goes down. Do you see a reflection anywhere in this equation? No, it's gonna just be a regular old swoop. It did not get reflected, something like this. Again, if you're stuck on that, make it up and then make all of your information match. So our range will be from where to where? Yeah, 4 to infinity. We don't have an x-intercept because it doesn't touch the x-axis. That's nice. Y-intercept. Look, there is one. I just don't have it graphed exactly. All you have to do is plug in 0, and whatever you get is whatever you get. If you plug in 0 here, what do you end up with? Yeah, e to the second plus 4, whatever that is. If you typed e squared, 2.7 squared plus 4, if you put that in a calculator, you would get some kind of decimal. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. Are we increasing or decreasing? All right, increasing is all reals, decreasing is none. And then end behavior, limit as x goes to -infinity of the function. Where is the left arrow headed? 4, perfect. Won't touch 4, but that's where it's headed. And then limit as x goes to +infinity of the function. That arrow goes up to +infinity. So those are the exponential ones. They have a horizontal asymptote. We flip it over. Now we're going to do the logarithmic ones. They are going to have a vertical asymptote. Good. All right. How did this graph get transformed? Good. Reflect y. The +1 is outside, so up 1. So this graph didn't move left or right. That means the vertical asymptote is still at 0. I know that makes it hard to see. I apologize. On the axis. And then you can go ahead and fill that in on your list. I get that the exponential and logarithmic graphs are opposite each other. They're inverses. One is one way and one is the other. You have to be really careful keeping them separate in your head. And then what's the other automatic thing we can put on for the logarithmic ones? Good, range will be all real. All right, now we're trying to get a table of values. Now these are the ones where you have to be a little bit more careful. You can't just plug in whatever you want. If your brain starts at 0, that's good. That's where my brain starts too, but you can't plug in 0 because you can't log 0, all right? What's the number next to 0 that we could plug in? -1, good. If you plug in -1, the negatives cancel, you get 1. Any log of 1, 0, good. +1 is 1. What else do you want to try? We just did -1, so keep going in the negative direction. What do you want to try now? Good, let's do -2. Negatives cancel, it'll just be 2. Log base 2 of 2. That's 2 to what power gives you 2? 1, good. And then 1 + 1 is 2. I need one more. -3 is not going to be good. Good. Negatives cancel. It'll be 4. Log base 2 of 4. 2 + 1 is 3. Go ahead and plot them. It will be a sideways swoop, and it's going to be on this side because we had that reflection over the y-axis. Again, I keep saying this over and over, but if that's the part you struggle with, congratulations, you're normal. That's the hard part. Make something up, make all your information match it. All right, domain, left to right, it will be -∞ to 0. There is an X-intercept. I don't have it exactly. We'll come back to that. Is there a Y-intercept? No. Which, are you like, hallelujah? Like, aren't you happy when that's none? Nice, right? Our graph is decreasing, but we will not put all reals. We will put what? Yeah, good. Copy the domain. It's -∞ to 0. And then your end behavior. Limit as x goes to -∞. Where does that arrow point? Yeah, positive infinity. I know it's not real dramatic, but it is going up. And then the other side will be limit as x goes to what? 0 from which side? The negative side, good. 0 from the left. And that arrow points down, so -∞. All right, so last thing, let's go back and get the X-intercept. It's not a lot of work, just like a little work. Take the equation, set it equal to 0. Oh, I kind of ran out of space. Let me rewrite that. I wrote too big at first. All right, set the equation equal to 0, and then we're going to solve it. When you get stuck, notice I didn't say if you get stuck. When you get stuck, your question is what's the base that will get you unstuck? All right, what do we do to both sides? Yeah, subtract 1. The base is 2, so it'll be 2 to the -1 equals -x. Okay, I think this one's on the flashcards. What is 2 to the -1? A half, good. So we have a half equals -x, and then the easiest way to deal with that negative is just erase it and put it on the other side. So -1/2, 0, which should make sense. That's like about where it looks on the graph. Last one. We're only going to get 1 point for this one because it's ln. Did it shift left or right? Left 4? Oh, I was really excited to draw that on the picture. Let me do the transformations first. Left 4. Actually, if you want to go ahead and dot that in, you can. That's like my go-to. Like, I just always want to dot that in first. All right, but there are a couple more transformations. I have 2 more blanks there. There's a negative out front. So what does that do? All right, reflect over X, good. And then there's also a 1/3 out front. That would be a vertical shrink by a third, good. All right, and then I can fill in one more automatic thing. What's the other thing I can just go ahead and write on there? Yeah, your range is all reals, perfect. All right, so there's only going to be one number we can do. If your brain starts at -4, good, that's where you want to start. You can't do -4 because that'll give you 0, you can't log 0. But pick a number next to -4. What do we want to try and plug in? Good. So like if your brain starts there, even though that number doesn't work, like it's still a good starting place, right? Because that's what the shift was. All right, -3 plus 4 would be 1. Any log of 1 is 0 times -1/3 would be 0. So -3, 0. And then you're like, okay, where's the graph? Well, it either goes up or goes down. What do you think? It is going to go down. Why is that? Yeah, good, because that negative that's out front. So it's going to do something like that. You have a 50-50 shot. Just go through that point and either make it increase or decrease. It's your only option. All right, so domain would be where to where? Good, starting at -4. -4 to infinity. Ooh, the X-intercept came out nice. We don't have to do any work this time. It would just be -3, 0. Y-intercept, there is one. I can't tell what it is exactly. All you have to do is plug in 0, and whatever you get is whatever you get. So if we plug in 0, 0 plus 4, 4, so -1/3 ln of 4, whatever that is. Again, that would be some number. Probably around like -3, -4-ish. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. All right, we are decreasing. So copy over the domain. And then end behavior. The first one would be limit as X goes to where? Good, -4 from the positive side, good. -4 from the right. That arrow goes up, so positive infinity. And then the right side, limit as X goes to positive infinity of the function, that side goes down, so -infinity.